Welcome to the Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl podcast, a place for you to find the courage you need to take the first step and every step thereafter to create the habits, the confidence, and the life that you love. I'm your host, health and life coach, Abby Hegney. Let's dive in. Welcome back to episode 80. This is part 4 of a 5-part series to help you get a jump start on the new year. I've mentioned this at the beginning of the past 3 episodes, but I'll mention it again because I know sometimes, especially if you are anything like me, you may jump around from episode to episode and not necessarily listen to them in the order in which they came out. And I love that you can do that with this entire podcast series and this series of 5 episodes. But this episode, the 3 episodes before it, it starts with the episode titled Getting Started. And then next week's episode, which will be the final one in this series, are 5 episodes that I have specially curated to help you to get started on your goals before the new year. And I know that at this point in time, the new year is rapidly approaching, but you also still have so much time. So I hope that these episodes help to inspire you and motivate you to get started now and not wait until the new year. These episodes are some of the most common topics, obstacles, or beliefs that my clients either struggle with, are working to build, or have already started to implement, and they have massively impacted their lives for the better. And I know without a doubt, it can do the same for you too. That's why I'm bringing you these very specific topics for these 5 weeks. If you are just starting this series today, welcome. This is part 4. Dive in, listen to this episode, and then go back and listen to the 3 before it, and then again next week's episode. All 5 of these episodes have the ability to change your habits, to change your confidence, to help you lose weight, and ultimately change your life. But it does require you to take action, to implement. We can't just listen to things and be inspired and be motivated by it and then not do anything about it. We actually do have to take action. They will also help you to think about how you are speaking to yourself and what you believe is possible and what you think you are capable of doing, but not only doing, but also like what we're capable of achieving. We often limit ourselves based on past experiences. But when we look to our past, we will always create more of what we've created in the past. When we want to create change, when we want to change our habits and lose weight that we can actually keep off, we cannot look to our past. We can't look to all of the things that we tried that didn't work. We can't turn back to the belief that we didn't have the time, or that we can never stick with anything, or that we've tried everything and nothing works. Doing that will only create more of what doesn't work, more of what you don't have time for, more of what doesn't last. This is what I help my clients do inside my private coaching program, the Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl method. We unravel those limiting beliefs. We let go of the things that didn't work for us in the past. All of the things that we may think we need to do in order to create healthier habits and lose weight. Things that often feel forced or restrictive. Things that make us feel like we have to miss out on our lives. Things that we can't wait until we can stop doing so that we can go back to living and enjoying our lives. If you have ever lost weight or you ever are in the process of losing weight from the place of I can't wait until I lose it, until I get there, until I meet my goal, so that I can go back and enjoy my life, I can start doing the things that I love, I can start eating the things that I love again, that is not weight, that is staying off. So I work with my clients to create a plan that works with their lives, all of their favorite parts of it. A plan that feels easy to maintain because it becomes part of who they are and what they do. They never feel deprived. They never feel like they are taking away from their lives because we build a plan that works with their life. We change their habits by changing their relationship with food, with movement, with their bodies, with decisions that they are making. We change the relationship that they have with the roller coaster of emotions that we experience as human beings. We change the way that they are speaking to themselves. We change how they show up for themselves every single day. And today, I'm going to bring this together for you. Today, I'm going to talk to you about your weight loss identity. This is something that I don't think is talked about enough. If it's even talked about at all, I don't know that I've ever heard anybody talk about a weight loss identity. And yet, I believe that this is a game changer when it comes to creating habits that last and losing weight for good. And so I'm so excited to talk to you about this today. I'm so excited to be the one to bring this to you if you have never thought about it, if you've never heard of this concept before. If you want to create habits that feel easy to maintain and lose weight that you can confidently keep off, this right here is the most important work that you can do. I know without a doubt that when a client starts working with me and they are open and they are ready to do this work, they are going to be widely successful. It does not matter how quote unquote good you are. It does not matter how much willpower that you can muster up or how hard you can push yourself. If you do not create the identity of someone who can and will lose weight, someone who is willing to try and keep going, it will not happen. Your core weight loss identity wins out every time. That's why we want to create a strong identity to carry you throughout your journey and well beyond it. You may not even realize that you have a weight loss identity, but by the end of this episode, you will. You will have so much clarity on what that identity is, but also how you can start to shift it. And I want to dive into this so badly because I feel so passionately about this topic and this shift. And I know how life-changing this can be. I have seen this in action. But before I let myself get too far into this or too far ahead of myself, I do want to slow down and first talk about what I even mean by weight loss identity. Because again, you may never have even thought about this concept. You've probably never heard about this. I've never heard somebody speak about your weight loss identity. So I want to talk about what I mean by it. And when I say weight loss identity, what I mean by that is your core beliefs, your most predominant thoughts about your ability or what it takes to lose weight. Our weight loss identity, our core beliefs, our most predominant thoughts and stories about weight loss are typically built on three main things. It's built on our past experiences, things that we have tried, past fails, even past wins. Sometimes we take what has worked for us in the past and we start to use that against ourselves. Sometimes we think, I did this thing and I lost weight, I met my goal, and then that one thing turns into this identity that we carry with us that this is what I have to do in order to lose weight, or this is the only way in which I can lose weight. And that can often make us feel really stuck. Our weight loss identity also comes from our own societal expectations. We see things out in the world. We see things in our communities, in our friend groups, on social media, on TV, in movies, and then we run it through our own filter. And that filter creates a narrative around this is how it should be. And then from there, our identity stems from that narrative that we create from what we're seeing out in the world and what we believe is required in order to lose weight. We may see people who spend an hour or more at the gym, and then we think that's what it takes to lose weight. And if we don't have an hour or more to spend at the gym, then our identity becomes one of someone who doesn't have the time, someone who can't do it. Our weight loss identity can also be built on comparison. Similar to those societal expectations, we can create an identity from comparing ourselves to others. This is where a lot of my past weight loss identity came from. I would look around and I would see women and girls who seemed so confident. And I would watch what they were doing and what they were saying and how they were acting. And I thought, that's what it takes. That's what it takes to be confident. And I would think if I just do those things, I'll be confident too. And when I did those things and it didn't work, or when I didn't do those things, or I didn't act in that way, it only reinforced this identity that I'm not a confident person. And that showed up everywhere. Not being confident was always the result that I created, no matter what I did, because it's where I started. It was my identity. My core belief was that I'm not a confident person. I will never be a confident person. And because that was my core belief, because I carried that identity, my brain looked for evidence everywhere to prove that that was true. And as soon as I found even the smallest piece of evidence, my inner mean girl was there to prove, see, you can't do it. You're not confident. You'll never be as confident as them. So that is what I mean by weight loss identity. And that is how our weight loss identity tends to be created or to evolve over time. And I gave you some examples of what that looks like and what it can sound like, but I want to share with you some other really common weight loss identities that I think women tend to embody. Identities that often make their journey so much harder than it needs to be. Identities that always will keep them from creating the change that they want to create. And I share these with you to help you build awareness of what may be standing in your way, what weight loss identity you may be carrying around. Maybe not by choice or at least conscious choice, but maybe because of one of these three things, maybe because of a past experience or your own societal expectations or your own comparisons. Think about which of these identities may be showing up in your own life, in your own journey, in your ability to change your habits or lose weight for good. think about what this identity that maybe you're carrying may actually be creating in your life. What patterns and habits is it keeping you in? How is it making things harder for you? I really want you to think about these things. I want you to see it with eyes wide open because when you do, it has the ability to change so much for you. So, some of these common identities are someone who can never stick with anything, someone who has tried everything, someone who struggles, someone for whom it is just always hard, someone who is inconsistent or struggles with consistency, someone who always falls off track, someone who never does enough or always needs to do more, someone who doesn't have control, someone who can't do it. I can't be around sweets. I can't have it in the house. I can't get up in the morning. Someone who is not. I'm not a morning person. I'm not someone who can see things through. I'm not someone who likes to work out. I'm not someone who's motivated or someone who will never be. I'll never be confident. I'll never feel in control. I'll never lose weight. When we believe that this is who we are, any one of these identities or any combination of them, or maybe some flavor of one of these or a few of these, because your identity may look different from mine or from the ones that I mentioned. But when we believe that this is who we are, it will always be who we are. Part of, and honestly, I think the most important part of losing weight, of creating healthier habits, of being able to maintain those habits, of feeling more confident and more in control is embodying the identity of the woman that you want to be. The woman who loses weight and confidently keeps it off. The woman who feels in control. The woman who feels confident in her body. The woman who feels taken care of, who makes decisions that makes her feel good, who lives her life intentionally. If you want to be someone who loses weight and confidently keeps it off, if you want to be the person who can maintain habits with ease, who shows up consistently, who takes care of herself, you have to allow yourself to be that person now. We often go through the motions, we check the boxes, we willpower our way through, and we think that's enough. And then when we get there, but we can't stay there, we're so confused. We don't understand why we can never maintain the results that we create. This is why. You cannot maintain results with the identity of someone who can't, someone who struggles, someone who has no control, someone who falls off track. You will lose that battle every single time. You have to allow yourself to be the woman who can lose weight and keep it off. The woman who can create habits that she can actually maintain. The woman who can do it while living her life. The woman who is willing to try and keep showing up. We can't wait for things to change what we believe we are capable of. The identity has to come first. It drives everything. The identity in which we choose to embrace influences everything that we do. Embracing a new identity will feel uncomfortable at first. It will feel illogical. It will go against everything that you know. But part of creating change, and specifically creating change that lasts, is doing the new, uncomfortable, illogical thing. This is why having the support of a coach is so helpful. Your brain will always default to comfortable, to logical. It's the easier path to take. It's the easier short term path. It's much, much harder long term. The more that you embrace an identity that doesn't serve you, that keeps you from creating the habits that you want to create and losing the weight that you want to lose, the more you reinforce that identity. If you identify as someone, let's say, who is not a morning person, every time that you set and then snooze the alarm, you reinforce the belief that you are not a morning person, which may not be a problem at all until you decide that you want to create a morning routine, until you want to start getting up earlier to maybe have time for yourself or to work out or simply to just start your day on your terms. When it comes to doing that, it's going to be so much harder because over and over again, you have reinforced the belief that you are not a morning person. It's what you believe to be true about you. Your identity becomes someone who can't get up in the morning, someone who struggles to get out of bed, someone who feels too tired, who always snoozes their alarm. When that is the identity that you embrace, you will always be someone who struggles to get up in the morning, someone who snoozes their alarm, someone who, even though they want so badly to create a morning routine, cannot seem to create that morning routine. But continuing to carry that identity, to embrace that identity, to embody it to your core is a choice. You have the opportunity to reinvent yourself every day. You have the opportunity to decide this is the woman that I want to be. These are the habits that I want to create. This is the weight that I want to lose. And to show up as that version of you every day. That doesn't mean that it will always feel easy or that it will feel like easy, but it is possible. And when you practice it, it will get easier. It will create long-term ease. Getting out of bed in the morning is not easy for me. Every morning when my alarm goes off, I want to turn it off. I want to go back to bed where it's warm and it's comfortable. But what gets me up and gets me moving is choosing to embrace the identity of the woman who starts her day on her terms. The woman who uses the morning to take care of herself, to feel strong, to feel energized. And because that is the identity that I embrace, I get out of bed and I get myself moving. And because I give myself that opportunity, those are the results that I create for myself. I feel strong. I feel energized. I feel taken care of. I feel good about my day because I've started my day on my terms. A friend of mine recently said to me, "You're doing it all right." And I kind of laughed at that because I am definitely not doing it all right. And I told her that I'm not. I'm not doing it all right. But what I know is that her comment that I'm doing it all right is coming from the energy of the identity that I choose to embrace every day. And that's the identity of someone who believes that she makes the best, most right decisions for her. It's not that I'm doing it all right. It's that I trust myself to make decisions that align with the habits and the confidence and the life that I want to be living. I for sure don't have all of the things figured out, but I also don't believe that I have to have all of the things figured out. Instead, I choose to embody the identity of someone who is willing to figure it out, who believes that she will eventually figure things out, who trusts that she just makes the best decisions for her. This identity creates so much freedom in my life. It also creates so much energy and motivation. I don't expect things to always go right. I know that they won't, but I also know that I will figure it out. I know that when things are really important to me, when I know that I will feel better or my life will be better on the other side of it, I know for sure I'm just not willing to give up. I will see it all the way through, even if it takes longer than I want it to, or longer than I expected it would take. And that for sure is not always easy. It can be really frustrating. It can be disappointing. It can be discouraging. But just imagine what it would be like if you identified as a woman who refused to give up on what she wanted. Think about what you would be doing differently if you completely embrace the identity of someone who can and will lose weight. If you were all in on your commitment on the process of losing weight, imagine what would be different if you were just to completely embrace all of it. If you celebrated every win, no matter how small it may be, and you learned something from everything that didn't go as planned, everything that didn't happen exactly as you wanted it to. Imagine what would be different if you embraced the willingness to keep going, if you took giving up off the table. Imagine what you would be doing differently if you stopped listening to the stories of your inner mean girl, if you allowed yourself to rewrite your own self talk, your own narrative. Imagine if you didn't let frustration or disappointment stop you in your tracks. Imagine embracing them as part of the process. Imagine what would be different if you knew how to navigate those negative emotions and you kept yourself going. Imagine what you would be doing differently if you didn't sit around and wait for motivation to find you, but instead you found motivation everywhere that you looked. If you were someone who was intimately aware of what her body needs, if you were willing to show up and do the hard work, but could also rest and relax without any guilt. Imagine if you felt empowered to make decisions for you, not because you don't feel like it or because it was easy or, well, the food was there and you didn't have any control. But imagine if you made powerful decisions for you. Imagine the energy that you would carry around if that was the identity that you embodied. When you embody to your core the identity of someone who can and will lose weight, you will take more action than you ever have before. That doesn't mean that you will work harder or that you have to do all of the things, but you will take more action than you ever have before because you'll tap into a new level of motivation, a new level of confidence and energy. It will create momentum. You'll hit that sweet spot where everything starts to flow and you'll want to do more because you know how good it feels to do what you are doing. Everybody wants the plan. Everybody wants to know what to do and how to do it, and they want you to just tell them step by step how to get from A to Z. And my clients and I do create a plan. We create a personalized plan that works with their lives, but we layer in building the identity building the core belief of a woman who can create habits that last, who can lose weight for good, who can feel confident in her own skin. So, yes, of course, you will take action. You will put yourself on the list. You will take steps. You will make decisions. It is all required for you to create change. But the steps that you take and why you take them, the decisions that you make and how you make them, the plan that you create, and the energy that you bring to it will be vastly different when you embody the identity of someone who can and will lose weight versus someone who can't, someone who struggles, someone who can never stick with anything. This is a choice that we actively get to make. We can actively believe that we can do it, or we can actively believe that we can't. I recently had a session with a client of mine, and maybe I've talked about this on a past episode, but I think it's relevant, so I'll say it again here. But I recently had a session with a client who wanted to get back to a gym that she used to go to that she just absolutely loved. But it had been a while since she had been, and she had a lot of doubt and she had a lot of fear about going back. She was worried that she wouldn't be able to do it, that she couldn't keep up, that she would be so far behind everyone else. And I said to her, I said, maybe you can't, but what if you can? That blew her mind open. That one phrase not only got her back to the gym, where she surprised herself with what she was capable of and how strong she actually was, but she has carried that with her in so many other areas of her life. Maybe you can't, but what if you can? That's the difference in identities. Believing that we can do it will always come from what we want to create. And believing that we can't will always come from what we've done in the past. If your weight loss identity is focused on the past, we have to start shifting it to what you want to create, to what's possible for you. This is what I help you do inside the Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl method. It's why so many of my clients come to me telling me that they've tried everything and nothing works. And yet, during the 6 months that we work together, they start to change. They start to see results that they hadn't seen before. It's not just about the doing. It's not just about checking the boxes or doing everything right. It's about quieting the negative self talk of your inner mean girl and creating an identity that carries you through your journey and well beyond it. It's about embracing the identity of someone who will figure it out, someone who will do things differently, who can live her life and make intentional decisions that move her closer to where she wants to be. It's about embracing the identity of a confident woman, a woman who loses weight and keeps it off and creates habits that feel easy to maintain. If you want to lose weight for good and create habits that last, or even with any other goal that you have for yourself, before you think, what do I need to do? Ask yourself, who do I need to be? How do I need to approach this journey? What do I need to believe about myself? What words do I need to speak to myself? Not just when things are going great and I'm making progress, but what words do I need to speak to myself when it feels challenging? When my inner mean girl offers me the thought, what's the point? You should just give up. Who do I need to be when motivation is lacking? Who do I need to be when I'm in a situation where I could easily feel out of control? Who do I need to be when I find myself at a crossroads, when I would normally give up? Who do I need to be to keep going? Ask yourself these questions, answer them with honesty. Start to embrace a new identity. One thing that you could do that could help you to start building a new identity is to look for all of the areas in your life in which that identity is already available. When it comes to losing weight and creating healthier habits, we love to tell ourselves that we aren't consistent. And yet, we are consistent in so many areas of our lives. We consistently show up for work every day. We consistently meet deadlines. We consistently get our kids to school, or we consistently put gas in our car when we need it. Instead of picking and choosing and compartmentalizing your identity, open yourself up. If you're consistent at work or with your kids or in any other area of your life, you can for sure be consistent with working out or going to bed earlier or getting up in the morning or making better choices. You just have to believe that is who you are. It's got to be part of your core identity. So when you think about embracing a new identity, look around you for evidence that that identity is already available and maybe even flourishing in your life. Building a new identity is the key to creating habits that last and losing weight for good. Okay, that is your weight loss identity. This week, we went a bit deeper. This was probably a longer episode, and it may not feel as simple as some of the previous episodes, but I don't want you to shy away from this. I really want you to lean into and create a weight loss identity that supports your goals, that helps inspire and motivate you so you can lose the weight that you want to lose and create the habits that you want to create. And you can do it while living your life. We don't talk about this enough. We don't talk about how important this part of the process is. And I want to be the one that does that. I want to be the one that opens you up to doing things differently because I also want you to never look back. I want you to lose the weight for the last time. I want you to create habits that feel easy to maintain. I want you to feel better than you have ever felt and to know that it's just the beginning of how good you can feel. All right, next week, I will be back with the final episode in this series of 5. That one won't be as deep as this one, so stay tuned. I will be back, and I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, whatever you may celebrate, and I will talk to you next week. If you are loving this podcast, please subscribe, rate, or review. Or if you know someone who would benefit from this message, please share it with them. And if you are ready to quiet your inner mean girl, to create habits that make you feel amazing, to lose weight and confidently keep it off while living the life that you love, I invite you to schedule your complimentary 60-minute consultation. We'll discuss where you are, where you want to be, and how my Quiet Your Inner Mean Girl method can help you create the future that you want. You can find the link to book your call in the show notes, or you can also connect with me directly on Instagram at Wellness with Abby H. I can't wait to talk to you.